Whoop day. Hello, people. What's it saying?
It's emojis with a clap and a smiley face.
Don't make
Yay.
me smile. My tooth hurts. What time is it? It's tooth hurty.
Oof.
Oh, man.
Oof.
Please, National Improved Medicare for All. Bring it. Bring it. We need it. We need it now. Please. Woo-wee.
So they
Um,
could cover your $4 sandwich.
yeah. Like 2 for $1 hot dogs. So basically, if you guys aren't on Twitter or haven't seen, I went to uh like it's called Sheets. It's like a Wawa or something, whatever you guys have in your area.
Whoa.
But they have like banging food that's made to order or cheap, and they sell gas that's like cheaper and stuff like that. But it's like actually good. So anyway, I got a sandwich there Thursday night after work, and I bit down in it, and there was something hard. I'm not sure what the hell it was. Whatever it was, I ended up swallowing, and my tooth cracked in half. And yeah, so that's what's I've been in a lot of pain since Thursday, and tomorrow I got to get the whole thing yanked out, which is costing me almost $500, even though I have dental insurance and health insurance. Yay! So, yeah, Andrew was referring to when I went into Sheets to tell the dude, like, look, I need to speak to corporate or something because this, my tooth was fine before I started this fucking sandwich. And he's like, go pick out anything you want and I'll comp it. And I'm like, the thing I want is for you guys to pay my dental bill.
Go pick out anything you want. We'll comp it so that you can further mess up your teeth.
Yeah, like, and what do you expect me to fucking eat right now? Like, what?
Get a Gatorade. Get a...
baby food or something? I got Frank a couple sandwiches, got my dad a few hot dogs. I'm like,
There you go.
dude, like, okay, I like to eat. I'm curvy. I like to eat, but I don't like to eat enough for $450, okay? Like, I seriously was like starting to think like, ooh, I wonder if I should just walk around and be like this, and then go on eBay and be like 500 Kit Kats for $100 or something like that, and be like, that's how I'll make my fucking money back. But I digress. Before we go further, I do want to give a shout out to every single person who has donated to the East Palestine Mutual Aid. Talk about a success. It has been absolutely beautiful. When I tell you that we were able to help so many people, I mean that we are still helping people like right now, still at this point, literally every day. I've been getting text messages from people I don't even know, who are in the vicinity, who are reaching out because of word of mouth, because they need air filters, water filters, diapers, school supplies, you name it. I'm getting texts several times a day. And up until now, I've been able to fulfill every single request I've gotten. The money's kind of depleting. And Jenna and I are going back to East Palestine in a week on the 17th. So we're going twice within a month. So we can bring some more stuff for them. Because we all know the local, state, and federal don't give a fuck about them. So if we don't do it, who will? Who knows? So we're going back, but in the interim, I am still communicating with people. I'm still sending stuff nonstop. Because of your donations, we were able to get someone who's rehoming a new mattress and bedspread and curtains, and her grandma a new bedspread and things like that, because I want to make it clear that when people rehome, they cannot bring any furniture like any, whether it's wood or metal or anything. They cannot bring any bedding, any clothing, anything. My one friend, Chrissy, who's been on several times, was upset the other day and said, if there's one thing I wish I could take from my home, it was the Christmas ornament my daughter made me in grade school of her handprint. Now that's a ceramic ornament. Can't bring it. It's toxic. So when I say they need everything new, I'm literally saying they can't even bring photo albums and stuff like that. Like they are literally starting from scratch. So that's what your donations are helping with. And it's so important. I can't thank you enough. Andrew can't thank you enough. Everyone in East EP and surrounding areas cannot thank you enough. Trust me, it's changing a lot of people's lives, even if it's for the time being. So cannot thank you guys enough. That being said, Andrew, what do we have first?
Yeah, so we usually, not all the time, but we usually like to start out talking about some strikes that are happening. And so, wanted to spotlight, no pun intended, you see the San Jose spotlight there. I'm so funny. Thousands of San Jose city workers are going on strike and making history as the city's largest worker walkout in recent history. As many as 4,500 city workers will strike starting August 15th after months of failed salary negotiations between the city and two of its largest unions, IFPTE Local 21 and MEF-AFSC-ME Local 101. About 99% of the unionized employees voted in favor last week, making an official announcement Monday morning at San Jose City Hall that the 3-day strike will begin next week. Members will form picket lines at various work sites each day of the strike, including San Jose City Hall, San Jose Mineta International Airport, the Regional Wastewater Facility, and the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Library, among other places. Nice, the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Library. All right, San Jose residents deserve fully staffed services, but workers can't even afford to live in the city we serve, said Kyle Wong, transportation specialist and IFPTE Local 21 member. Our hope is that City Council members and Mayor Mahan will finally listen to us and address the understaffing crisis impacting libraries, airport, affordable housing, and more. But if they don't, we are ready to strike for our services. A handful of city workers were joined on Monday by Assembly Member Alex Lee and Ash Kara, Council Member Peter Ortiz, and Gene Cohen, Executive Director of South Bay Labor Council. And so, so this is the start of that. It really stood out to me, the fact that these workers can't afford to live in their city, because I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I know in Boston in particular, right? If you want to work for the city, you actually have to live in the confines of Boston. And so it's almost like you're kind of being held hostage in a sense. If you can't afford the housing, but you need a job, you can't live there, right? And so, it doesn't surprise me that 99% would vote for that if they're not getting the agreements they need, because it's not like they can do the whole we'll just go somewhere else, live
right,
somewhere else.
Exactly. And I mean, there's public transportation and stuff there that is accessible, but like you said, unless you're going to use someone else's mailing address,
right,
not going to happen.
Yeah,
but what's interesting about this article is, didn't you say that it read that this strike was going to last 3 days?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm a fan of telling how long it's going to last. First of all, it should be more than 3 days. Second of all, if you tell people it's only going to be 3 days, what kind of a demand is that? They'll shut down everything for 3 days and then they know you're coming back tomorrow. So I guess that's kind of weird to me. I've never heard of a strike that like gives a time length.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes that has happened. I think, in the past, Starbucks workers at certain places, I remember said, "Oh, we're going to strike on this day." But yeah, I always kind of had that same question of, why are you showing your cards before you even
I
played
think it's
them?
because of ASME and that other union, because they are like actual unions, whereas people who are trying to organize are much more, I hate this term, but grassroots, and it's much more organic, and people, decide, momentarily, this is when we're going to stop and we're going to play it by ear. Whereas
Yeah,
this is very like, we had to vote to
yeah,
agree on striking. So this is more, structured. So I'm sure that's why, but it's still kind of like, you don't have to share that, do you?
yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, I agree with that. So, Krona just came in. So yeah, these are I think maybe I think we already answered your question through us further talking, but Krona asked, "Are these public service workers?" I came in late. These are workers. These are San Jose city workers. So various different
But
employees of the
thousands.
city. 4,500. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
So basically,
No joke.
essentially, what this is a general strike on a city level. So
Mhm.
let's think about what that would be like. 4,500 people in cities all across the US.
Yeah,
That's powerful.
yeah.
Like,
And some cities. I mean, San Jose is it's not a tiny city, but there's a lot of cities that are bigger than San Jose. So like, you'll have more in a lot of other cities.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Imagine if all the city workers in New York City struck. That'd be like
Dude.
that'd be an absurd amount.
And Texas, with all the oil and everything, all those city workers,
Yeah.
that would be fucking major.
Right.
That would be hardcore.
Right. Yeah. So solidarity to them. Hope it goes well. Hope the 3-day strike goes well. They get the agreements that they need, and yeah, hopefully it sets a good example for other city workers. 99%. That is a large amount.
It
I wonder
is.
who the
That's
1% were.
amazing.
Yeah.
And shout out to Starbucks, because they are the ones who kind of got the ball rolling with their New York, um, a year and a half ago, with that New York win, that first shop, that they won. That just kind of started evolving. It was freaking beautiful. And since
Yeah.
then, we've seen so many more people and companies getting the guts to say, you know what? We're doing this shit.
Yeah. I remember even before Starbucks, I think there was like the Nabisco strike that was
Yes.
happening. There were definitely, Starbucks in terms of its magnitude, but it definitely, even from, 2021, it was really starting to pick up, and then it kept picking up in 2022, and here we are. Yeah. Hot, as they say, hot labor summer.
Hot labor summer. It's wicked awesome.
All right. So our next topic is going to be about Sherrod Brown.
His name's not Tommy.
His
I thought
name is.
his name was Tommy.
I mean, we could call him Tommy if we want to.
I tease Andrew because he's in Boston, and all my family's in Boston too. So he's got the accent. They don't extend the R's.
It's true. It's true. Um, all right. So Brown pushes Biden administration to declare East Palestine derailment a disaster. U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown today, I should say, U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown today urged the Federal Emergency Management Agency to declare the East Palestine derailment a federal disaster. In a letter to President Joe Biden and FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell, Brown called on FEMA to approve Governor DeWine's major disaster declaration request to unlock additional resources from the federal government that can help address ongoing needs in East Palestine. Brown also called on the Biden administration to lay out what additional steps the federal government can take to assist those still suffering from the Norfolk Southern derailment. The people of this community had their lives overturned by 53 train cars and the negligence of a corporation that cuts safety to enrich its bottom line. These Ohioans and their neighbors in Pennsylvania have experienced trauma that no American should ever have to experience. It's our responsibility to do everything possible to help them recover. I will continue to do all in my power to support the families and small businesses of East Palestine. Now it's your time to step up and provide the support that only FEMA can. Would you like me to keep going? Or would you like me to stop here?
No, you can read a little more.
On the 16th, February 16th, Brown called on the state of Ohio to officially declare a disaster in East Palestine and seek the full support of the federal government to bolster the state of Ohio's ongoing cleanup efforts. Brown also personally pushed Biden to send FEMA and additional federal resources to East Palestine following the derailment in February. A copy of the letter can be found here and below. It has been 6 months since the derailment of Norfolk Southern train devastated the East Palestine, Ohio community. While I appreciate all the federal government, including the Federal Emergency Management Agency, has done to support recovery efforts in East Palestine, more assistance is necessary to ensure the community and its residents have the support necessary to address the ongoing challenges caused by the derailment. In line with previous assistance, I urge you to approve DeWine's major disaster declaration request for the Stafford Act to unlock additional resources from the federal government that can help address the ongoing needs in Palestine.
So the thing is, like, what other efforts? Please fucking tell me. Because y'all know I deal with, personally, intimately, I deal with these fucking residents. They haven't done fucking shit. So yeah. I appreciate the other... What the fuck are they doing? Norfolk Southern is literally opening up an office in East Palestine. They're terrorists. Like, why are you doing this to these people? They're like flaunting it. They're like, you gotta ride by us every fucking day. Like, we're like straight up capitalizing on your fucking land that we've destroyed. Well, you know what? If you want to build that shit in East Palestine, I hope you wear hazmat suits every fucking workday, because guess what? You're going to be bleeding out your fucking ears, out your fucking rectum, and peeing blood and all that shit too. That's what's going to happen. And maybe then you'll wake the fuck up. But it shouldn't take that. And, you know, honestly, Sherrod, he did ask for that on February 16th. However, I'm done with these people asking. What the fuck are you asking for? These people are literally being left to die for over 6 months. Grow some balls. Demand this shit. Fucking demand it. And you know what? This shit, you know what this disaster declaration would do? It only gives $5 million. That's nothing. That is literally nothing. That is fucking nothing. And, you know, Shapiro in Pennsylvania, Shapiro is so fucking great. He got them to give $1 million to Pennsylvania, to the Darlington area, which we brought mutual aid to. Well, guess what? People need to fucking read. It doesn't go to the fucking people. It goes to the city. Just like money went to the city of East Palestine, and they're fucking building a goddamn amphitheater in a town that is still contaminated soil. And there's people, they only have like 2,000 residents. Who the fuck is going to go and do a goddamn amphitheater? You know, they're throwing Easter egg hunts and carnivals and shit. That's where the money's going. So people need to educate themselves that when they say, we're giving $1 million, don't celebrate. The people aren't getting shit. That's not going to the people. That's going to enrich these fucking politicians and beautify. It's literally called the beautification project.
Yeah.
Pay attention to where the money is going, because this is nothing. This is absolutely nothing.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, now it's time to hold, you know, Darlington elected officials accountable too, right? And I'm
Yeah.
sure they are, but it's like that's when you really got to go and pick it outside, do what you need to do to be like, hey, we see this, like the money should be in our hands, not for some theme park.
Well,
or
and
whatever.
shout out to Unity Council and all my people on that I've been volunteering with, because they went to DC a week ago, and they met with Sherrod, even though Sherrod's local to them. He has always either dodged them, dismissed
Wow.
them, what have you. So they were like, hey, let's go to DC and meet with a bunch of reps, including our own, since they keep dodging us when they're here. So there you
We
go.
followed you from Ohio. Hey, what's up?
What's that?
We followed you from Ohio. What's
Yeah,
up,
exactly.
bro?
We know, they all know Miss Jamie by name. You better believe that. They know them all by name. And Unity Council, they do not like Unity Council because they are badasses and they are forced to be reckoned with. And if you tell any single rep you're with Unity Council, I know firsthand they're like, So they met with 8 representatives in DC, one of them Sherrod, and ooh, look at this. A few days later, he comes out with this. It's still breadcrumbs. It's still pathetic, but now we have further receipts that we're going to be like, is this all are you going to fucking follow up with this? Are you going to tag Biden in your fucking post? Because he didn't even fucking post it. He did not fucking post it. A journalist posted it. So, this is bare minimum. They should be getting severance, hands down. They should be getting weekly water drops off. They should be getting housing. They should be getting free home testing by independent testers. They should be getting free testing for vinyl chloride so they don't have to pay fucking $700 out of their own pocket.
Yeah.
There are so many things that should be done, and they're being made to suffer in every fucking way.
Yeah. Agreed. And yeah, and I think, so Jenna made a point here, right, where she's saying, where the fuck is cosplay working guy Fetterman, right? It very much is acting like, it's just in Ohio, it's not Pennsylvania state, but yeah, I mean, I've seen,
he's seeing it on the map. Like this with Shapiro though, and Shapiro's bragging left and right. He got that $1 million. Where the fuck are you, Fetterman? Where the fuck are you? The one who didn't even co-sign on Medicare for all, the one who does fucking banquets trying to raise money with Biden and shit. The one who Hillary supported calls Hillary Clinton calls a friend. Yeah, you, Fetterman. Where the fuck is your ass? Oh, never mind. You support fracking.
All right. Well, speaking of...
You know what? I'm going to call his ass tomorrow. And I have his cell phone number, but I'm not going to do that. I'll call his office.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to call... You know what? I'm going to call him and Shapiro. I'm going to call them both and demand a meeting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're your representatives.
I'm right next to Harrisburg. They're right there.
Yeah.
I'll fucking show up. They ignore me. I will show up to their office. I've done it with other people before.
Good. All right. So here's a video. So this is an interesting video that I found because it really just shows what happens when you actually give money to people, right? And less on wars. So I'm just going to play this video, and then
here's your daily.
We'll show something on Ukraine that you wanted to show, Joy. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Reminder that America is a bullshit country with a bunch of artificially manufactured poverty. I was hanging out with a Danish person last night, and we started talking about food. And they said Americans don't understand food at all. And they were absolutely correct. Most Americans have never been educated about food, actually. And as a result, we have no idea what's even in any of the things we're eating or drinking. But in Denmark, like most of Europe, foods have to be real. They have to be legislated by law to be actually real and not filled with a bunch of partially hydrogenated bullshit. Maybe this is why the US spends more and has worse health outcomes than Denmark. Denmark, a country of only 6 million people, makes a comparative amount of money per capita as the entire United States. Denmark has nearly 1/20th the poverty rate as the United States and 1/10 the homelessness rate. And in Denmark, school is free. In fact, they'll give you a stipend if you go. Oh, also, healthcare is free too. Living in this country in the United States is a fucking shame. It's disgusting, and we actually have nothing to be proud of. Every single political rally should be a riot.
I love the ending there.
He's like all clean cutting and shit, and he's like, riot.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and that's what, like, I've been saying. I've said this several times on this show, right? You know, people. The reason why part of the reason why there's so many health problems is not because people are necessarily eating too many cookies or cakes, right? It's clear that what's in them. People generally are like, okay, I need to put a cut there, but there's so much in this food that is like soup and everything that you see in a market that's like supposed to not be toxic for you. That is because we have no regulations in place for them.
You know, it was interesting when I went to Burlington, Vermont. They are one place that everything has to be labeled if it has GMOs and stuff. And I went to the farmer's market, and I just couldn't believe how like colorful things were and how they smelled. And even their food trucks were 100% farm to table, 100%. Like, I've never seen anything like it. There were no fast food. Like, everything was mom and pop. Everything was organic. Like, everything was like a million times tastier and healthier. You know, and I was like, wow, like, imagine if everyone did what Burlington did and it made everything have to be labeled. Why the fuck isn't it? Shouldn't you know what you're putting in your body? Shouldn't it have just a sticker that says, you know, caution, this shit's gonna fucking give you a freaking expensive trip to the hospital?
Right. And it's funny because it's like, you know, when we're little, talking about the education, right? We see they give us like the food pyramid.
The food pyramid.
Most healthy to not, but they don't put into fact that it's like all these chemicals. Like, I guarantee you, Wonder Bread is probably more toxic for your body than having than having like a cupcake.
White bread, fucking awful for you.
Yeah.
Awful for you.
Yeah. So, but you know, they're cheap. It's cheap food, so people get it, and then, you know, yeah. All right, let's see.
150 years. They would have had to start paying us in 1000 BC.
Sorry.
$100,000 every day until today, and it still wouldn't be repaid, right? But what else could we have done with that money here in the United States? I looked it up. To build a state-of-the-art hospital in the U.S. is about $100 million. We could have built 1,000 of those hospitals, 20 in each state. We could have made sure every homeless person is off the street. We could have removed hunger for any American. So my question to you is, why is this war in Ukraine so important to us that we're willing to spend the money on them than fixing these problems here? Let me know what you think. The United States has given Ukraine $115 billion so far since the war started.
So,
and no one.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's a good breakdown of like, this is, and yes, we know with MMT, like, you know, currency is created and such, but it's still very interesting to show the equivalency of what we are giving away. I mean, it's so bananas to me. Like, and when you look, I have articles that show what the money is going towards when we give it to Ukraine, and some of it goes to healthcare. Some of it goes to social safety nets like food and the poor and stuff like that. Cool. I'm not hating on that, but I'd rather it go here. You know, because like they call it a defensive budget, and they're not defending shit.
No. Of course not. Of course not. Yep.
What's that saying?
So Teresa was saying the town, this is a little slightly off topic, but it caught my interest. The town I am helping family cheapest gas is $5.19 per gallon. I don't want to ask Teresa like give away like where they are, but I'm curious like at least what
Wow.
state. Like I'm in Boston and it's not nearly that bad right now. It was like that like a year
Maybe
ago.
California?
Maybe.
That's bad.
Could be
Holy
California.
shit. That's awful.
What's because we're oh okay all right yeah California there it is.
That's
Jive.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's like today I think I paid like $3.70, $3.60 per gallon for gas. Not great, but makes me feel a little better.
Thanks for that, Teresa. Your misery made Andrew feel better.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to rub it in. I'm just like,
I
like
love you, Teresa. That's bananas, though. And this supposedly isn't even the recession. So
yeah.
it's just like, oh my God. We're just waiting because this is bad. What do you have next on the agenda? Oh, what's that say?
Shitty 99 cents a loaf is the perfect metaphor for this country. Yeah, it is.
What is?
Shitty 99 cents a loaf of bread is the perfect metaphor for this country. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, like, of course, people are going to buy that because, like, hey, you need food. It's cheap. You can buy it in bulk. Like,
I got 99 problems and the bread ain't one. I had to.
Yeah.
What you got next, boo?
I remember I saw it was $5. Sorry, I'll go to the next thing. I just want to say when I saw I think a year or so ago that it was $5 here in Boston, I was just like I remember I was just like took a picture. I was like, I got 5 on that gas. I was like, oh shit. That's not good. All right. So I guess we'll talk about this fucking PragerU shit. So you know how they say, oh, the Marxists are coming for your education. Well, it's definitely not the Marxists. It's good old PragerU. Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, see, your phone can't even take it. Like, so I'm just gonna watch this. All right. All right, here we go. Let's watch this and be disturbed.
of Education just approved the use of PragerU materials in public school classrooms. Among the narrators, Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens.
Republicans sit here and say, well, Democrats did this, but you're doing the same thing.
Brady is not alone in her criticism. Many people point to videos on the PragerU website that they say are meant to indoctrinate children. For example, this video features 2 kids who go back in time to talk with Christopher Columbus. Columbus suggests that he was justified in his violence against Native Americans.
Being taken as a slave is better than being killed, no? You're from 500 years in the future? How can you come here to the 15th century and judge me by your standards from the 21st century?
Jill Solomon is the director of PragerU Kids. She told me nothing in the videos is political or agenda driven.
You know, I don't like putting kids in the middle of a culture war, and I don't think anyone here at PragerU Kids wants to put children who are in school in the middle of a culture war. That's not really what we're trying to do. What we are trying to do is to give transparency for parents and teachers to be able to work together to open a window into our classrooms.
Now, again, the PragerU website says things a little differently, that they, quote, offer a free alternative to dominant left-wing ideology in culture, media, and education. Now, I reached out to our local school districts to find out if this will be in classrooms this coming school year. Lee told me they have not discussed it yet. Collier said they are reviewing the material now, and I did not hear back from Charlotte County Schools.
I don't think they understand that transparent does not mean lie.
Yeah. That was just a bunch of words that they said. Yeah.
Anytime someone says like culture war or cancel, whoopsie, you know what I'm talking about. No, you just lost me. Every fucking thing you just said is pathetic. Everything you just said is pathetic.
Yeah. And I think
They are saying that they don't want people to be indoctrinating while they are trying to indoctrinate kids with lies. That is beyond hypocrisy.
They're like, let's just have an imaginary conversation with Christopher Columbus and see what this genocide enabler would say.
It's like we've all heard about whitewashing history because obviously that's happened like forever in pretty much every school, which, you know, essentially is more just like glossing over things that happened. But now we're beyond whitewashing. We are like literally in let's justify Columbus, you know, just destroying, you know, indigenous peoples and like,
yeah.
I don't know why I'm shocked with these people. Like, I guess they just keep trying to top themselves.
Exactly. I think that's it, is like, and that is one thing they're very skilled at doing, right? Is they're very skilled at just kind of gradually just moving the needle of acceptability. And so each time you're like, what the fuck? You're actually saying this now? Like, oh. And I just want to make something clear too, because so I'm looking at this article from Wink News from August 1st. PragerU materials have been approved by the Florida Department of Education to be used in public schools.
Florida.
Yeah. So
the one who literally said that socialists cannot go to Florida.
Yeah.
That anytime you mention the word a black person, you are CRT. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah.
Well, the good thing is he's running for president. So it might not just be Florida, it might be everywhere. Yay.
I mean, that really is the scary thing, is that
hey, let's run Biden. He's great. He's totally gonna win in a landslide.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been polling well in the Republican primary, it seems. But man, this dude.
I mean, Hillary had a 98% chance of winning, so.
Yeah. But like, damn, I mean, this guy is scary in terms of he is just so effective in getting his scary, you know, like his scary ideology just to come to fruition in the state of Florida, that it's like, damn, this dude's good.
That's the thing. People were scared with Trump, understandably. DeSantis is Trump times a million on crack.
Yeah.
DeSantis is way worse. You're not going to have your insults like orange man bad and shit. No. This dude like wants to bring back conversion therapy and shit. Like he is a sociopath.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna wish you like did not freak out as bad as you did about Trump, because it's gonna hit you that holy fuck, it can get so much worse. And he's much worse.
And that is one thing. I mean, it is kind of shocking. Well, I shouldn't say shocking, but I do feel like in general, indie left media does sort of downplay or ignore what DeSantis is doing. But it's like, dude, what he's doing is having a huge impact on like this country, and is like
having a huge impact on all marginalized peoples, be it people of color, LGBTQIA. Like,
yeah.
These people in the entire state of Florida are being severely affected. And it also sets a precedence for other states. You know, like, well, in Florida, they've been doing blah, blah, blah. Let's try and pass that here.
Right.
It, you know, it plants a seed for other places, which is also really freaking dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, speaking of politicians, well, I guess
grab your barf bags.
Yeah. So, let me start with this one here. I'll read it. So this is the one that Joy, you were saying there were some Nazi type of, if you, yeah. So this is him talking about the assassination. If you want to read it, and you can just talk about it. So since the assassination of my father in 1968, candidates for presidents are provided Secret Service protection, but not me. This claim has been debunked in different ways. Well, it's misleading, I should say, but we'll go on. We'll talk about that later. Typical turnaround time for pro forma protection requests from presidential candidates is 14 days. After 88 days of no response, and after several follow-ups by our campaign, the Biden administration just denied our request. Secretary Mayorkas, I've determined that Secret Service protection for RFK Jr. is not warranted at this time. Our campaign's request included a 67-page report from the world's leading protection firm detailing unique and well-established security and safety risks aside from commonplace death threats. And so, readers,
okay.
Yeah.
My first question is, aren't you a multi-billionaire? Like, you don't have fucking security?
Right.
That's my first question. My second question is, why did you say that? And then Twitter put that thing underneath saying that this is absolutely untrue. They only get security when it's 90 days before the primary. This shit's over a year away. I understand you're a Kennedy. I get that. But you have enough fucking money to buy your own fucking security, dude. You have more than enough. Then the other issue is, which I didn't know, to be quite honest. I didn't. But he uses the numbers 14 and 88. And let's pull up the other screenshot, because it was trending. RFK Jr. was trending, which, you know, isn't that rare, but he was trending, and I kept seeing this 1488, 14, and I'm like, what? I don't understand what that means. But apparently it is a dog whistle for Nazism, no biggie, which he has said incredibly disgusting things about Jewish people before. And, you know, so not shocking. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead.
This one person, I think they kind of summed it up, because I was looking through the comments and I read this article to try and decipher what was going on. And they kind of broke it down so that I was like, wow, like I get that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Strahan Cadell says, for a non-anti-Semite, find it fascinating that you made sure in the midst of your "Do you know who I am" tantrum to use very specific numbers rather than 2 weeks and almost 3 months.
So what 14 and 88 means is, actually, do you want to pull it up quick? I forgot to look in the send the screenshot of what it says.
Of what 1488 means?
Yeah, like the
Sure.
technical term.
Cool. Let me
See. 1488. It's a hate symbol. It
Stands
says
for Hail Hitler.
right.
Yeah.
Combination of two popular supremacist number symbols. The first number is 14, which is shortened for the 14 word slogan, "We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children." The second is 88, which stands for HH, with you can H being the 8th letter of the alphabet. Okay, that makes sense. Together, the numbers form a general endorsement of white supremacy and its beliefs. As such, they are ubiquitous within the white supremacist movement.
Mm-hmm.
And I like I said, I didn't know. I was just like, oh, what do you know who I am? Like that kind of tantrum, like that person said. And I didn't know what that meant, honestly. But then when I was like, is that kind of being like, I don't know, is that extra? Is that really, a dog whistle? I don't know. But then when this person said it like that, I thought, holy shit, you're so right. He didn't have to use those exact numbers, and he didn't have to use them like pretty much next to each other. And I wouldn't think anything of it if he had not recently also made some really gross comments about Jewish people.
Yeah, I mean, especially like, I don't know, I feel like 14, that's common, 14 days. Some people say it, but 88 days, like that's, who the fuck says that?
Yeah. You had to wait today to post it. You can't wait 2 days to say 90 days or 3 months.
Right.
It's
been a little less than 3 months.
Right. Like, and then you're not doing your research, and Twitter has to put that damn thing on your thing saying, actually, we don't do that. He's a fucking idiot. What, 2 weeks ago, you guys may remember I was going to speak on a story on him. And at the end, I just said, you know what? I fucking can't deal with him. We're ending the show right now. I just couldn't even talk about him. He's so fucking just gross. Ew. So what is next? I figure if we're going to do it, we're going to do it. And we're talking about him in 3 respects.
Yeah, I think that was everything.
No, it wasn't.
What do we have?
I sent you three things. There's the Brianna Joy Gray.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Let me go to, Brianna
Now,
Joy.
You guys know we don't share videos from other shows on here, but I think this is a very important clip because I had not seen the interview on Jimmy Dore, and when I saw this clip, I was like, wow. And Brianna Joy Gray's guest is very informative and I think kind of sums everything up.
Ended up either being killed or imprisoned by.
If you beginning showing, okay, excellent. All right.
Kill a Jew anywhere in the world and you're Palestinian, the Palestinian Authority will pay you money for that.
I mean, it does not even pass the smell test. You just hear that and you don't know whether to laugh or cry that somebody can make that claim in seriousness. It is completely baseless. It has no relationship to reality whatsoever. And it's funny, right? You could stop there and just say he's inventing stuff. But because I know where that smear comes from, I think it's worth elaborating on just a little bit. What Palestinians have in the West Bank, the authority there, is a system in which any Palestinian who is killed or imprisoned by Israel, their family gets compensation. And the overwhelming majority of people who benefit from that are victims of Israel's brutal occupation. They are victims of Israel's daily violence, just to live without rights under occupation, to use any kind of legitimate means to resist that occupation, to simply be a bystander when Israel decides to escalate its violence. Those are the overwhelming majority of victims. And it's people organizing legitimately against that occupation who end up filling up Israel's dungeons. It's children who are throwing rocks at Israeli tanks that pass down their streets, who end up in Israeli dungeons under military detention. The families of Palestinians who suffer that kind of violence get compensation. And then somebody caught on to the fact that Palestinians who engage in violence are not exempt. Their families are not exempt from that welfare. So people started, finding one example here or there of a Palestinian who committed an act of violence, ended up either being killed or imprisoned by Israel, and saying, how come their families are getting benefits? And the Palestinian Authority's position is, we're not going to dive that deep. Families of any Palestinians who are killed or imprisoned will get benefits. And that started being spun as a program in which the Palestinian Authority is paying people in order to attack Jews, which is just utter and complete nonsense. And expansion of that, to say that the Palestinian Authority is offering bounties for people who kill Jews anywhere in the world, I mean, it's just such a grotesque lie. Again, that's the part where it's hard for me to imagine that RFK Jr. is naive enough to hear that and not investigate whether it's true or not. And that's part of the reason why I feel like this must be cynical. This must be serving particular interests who want that kind of rhetoric out there, rather than it being sincere, because I can't imagine how anybody would hear that without really questioning or investigating to see whether it's true or not.
Yep. I think that's a wonderful breakdown. It really is. I mean, the thing is, RFK Jr. has been called out time after time after time for the past month about his stance on, Israel and Palestine. And he's still making it worse.
Yeah.
Somehow.
He is.
It's like he's literally, and then who was it? I think it was Max Blumenthal.
Yeah.
No, was it Max Blumenthal? He agreed to debate someone.
Yes,
I think it was Max. Yeah. And then Max reached out and is like, okay, when and where? And he's like, nah, I'm gonna change my mind here. It was a bad idea to say yes in the first place.
Well, yeah, I mean, he would have been exposed very quickly if he.
But you know what? His sycophants.
Well, Max Blumenthal about.
Dude, those sycophants. Holy fuck! Holy fuck! Oh my god, this shit is Yang Gang times 20. This is like, well, he didn't mean it like that. Well, the video was cut. Well, and like. Oh my god, dude. Stop. Like, you can still like.
Who's better on it? I literally saw someone being like, I remember someone saying, well, who's better than Israel? Right? Like, they're doing the whole thing where like people criticize Biden and it's like, well, who has a better chance of winning? Who's worse? Who's better on these issues, right? It's the
They're doing the Hillary. They are doing the Hillary. They are Hillbots, because they're saying, but Trump. That is their, but Biden. They are saying, every time you talk about RFK Jr., you're helping Biden win. Every fucking thing. Any of us have always fought with Hillary people saying, they are saying. Every fucking thing. And it's just like, dude, when people give legitimate concerns, that's a legitimate fucking concern right there.
Yes.
You can try and turn yourself into pretzels all you fucking want. Keep twisting. There's no way you can try and rationalize that.
No.
And
No.
instead of just saying, yeah, you know what? That's fucked up. That's hero worshiping. That's what hero worshiping is. When you're like, I'm going to defend him tooth and nail regardless. He does no wrong. I'm going to take every single, like a week ago when I posted something, something he was, the one we're going to show right now, actually. All I did was post this thing and said, wow, WOW, period. Over 100 comments. That's all I fucking said was wow. That's all I fucking said.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what's your problem? What are you doing? Why don't you like him? Like, seriously?
Mm-hmm. So this is the we're gonna cure cancer one, right?
Yeah. Like when I read this, I thought, holy fuck, this is Biden. Like this is same fucking energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you scroll down, this is what RFK Jr. said. I know people like Pete Buttigieg and stuff say like word salads, but you can still kind of understand what he's trying to say. This dude, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I have no clue where he is even trying to go with this. And this isn't the first time I've been confused.
So yeah, just clicking on the actual one that's not the screenshot now. Just scroll down. So all right, here we go. Kennedy 24. So this is the same energy. We're going to cure cancer. And then Kennedy 24. When I'm the president of the United States, I'm going to end the chronic disease epidemic in this country. Wow.
What does that mean? Like, I don't understand what the fuck it means. Does it mean you're giving people health care so they can have preventative action? No. You already, when it comes to Medicare for all. So what in the fuck does that mean? Mind you, dude has been running for several months now, and he still has no platform on his fucking website.
But he does look like he's in a pretty cool place. Trees and garden, you know, I don't know. That's yeah.
Oh, I really got shit the other day because he posted a video of him and his wife on the beach. And he was like, oh, this is my happy place on the beach. And he's like, you know, they're like laying in the sand in the sun. And I was like, and we're supposed to believe you're like representing us? Like you're literally bragging about being on the sunny California beaches right now?
Yeah.
When like... Yeah, we really identify with you, dude. You're a real fucking man of the people.
Right.
It is so fucking gross. And you know what? As soon as he announced, we all knew he was going to blow up. We all knew he was going to be huge. Number one, his last name is fucking Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
That alone. Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, what you got coming up, boo?
Not too much. Just yeah. Surviving. That's what I got coming up right now.
I love my Andrew so much. When he had to cancel last week, it was for a good reason. He had a personal issue, so it was a good reason. But when he cancels and we can't do our show together, I kind of like I really go through withdrawal. I'm like, where's my buddy? Like, I've been doing this shit 6 years, and I've never had a like continuous guest host. I'm like, oh, join me for one show, and then maybe a year later, join me for another show. But I've never had like a guest host, and it's been over a year because you're like
It has.
mine, and I won't
It's almost been
let
2
you
years
leave.
now.
What's that?
I think it's almost been 2 years now. Right?
No, it's been about 13 months. It just feels like that because I drive you nuts.
Really?
Yeah. Aw,
Is it really?
remember when we first started and everyone
Ah.
thought we were dating? And I was like, no. Someone even
You're
asked
right.
if we were
All right.
married. What's that?
No.
You don't remember that? Oh my God, it was so
Wait, what?
fucking funny. You know, people
What
used to ask
happened?
me and Pat that all the time too. Especially when we were writing our book together. People would
Oh,
be like,
really?
oh my God, a married couple who writes together. That's amazing. And I'm like, I've never fucking met that man.
That's
like,
funny.
I've
That's
never
funny.
met him in my life in person. No, we're not married.
That's funny. Yeah.
So as far as what's upcoming for me, I may be doing another show this week. I had a really good conversation with someone pretty big today. So I may be going live. I'll probably go live again this week, even if it's just me, myself, and I. But next Monday we will be back. Also, like I said, me and Jenna are going back to East Palestine. So we have some stuff planned, some undercover actions going on there that you may be seeing some footage of. But yeah, so things have been fun and we have been productive, and keep smash the like button, smash share. If you're not following me on Twitter, please do. I do like practically hourly updates on East Palestine. So yeah, hit subscribe, please. And I do have a Patreon. If you would be so kind, $3 per month even helps so much. It also helps me when I, travel. But also, my blind accessibility keyboard broke, and it's $80, and I don't have $80. So that's kind of, what money goes towards when people send it to my Patreon. But in any case, thank you guys so much. Also subscribe to my Rockfin because I air on there as well. I cannot promise anything, but I am going to try to start doing Rumble. I haven't quite, you're supposedly able to do it with StreamYard, which is what we use, but I can't quite figure it out. So I'm going to continue trying. But I'm going to try. So, dun, dun, dun. But thank you all so much for watching. Much love, and see you soon.